Today we're going to go over auto prospecting, automated emailing, and effective client interactions. And here's what we're going to cover. We're going to go over creating a new contact, setting up the client portal, and that's their end of the email with the listing information within it. Prospect cart, that is your search results page for an auto prospect. We'll even talk about how to manage your contacts and, well, even manage your groups, and definitely more things than just these items today. So what I want to go ahead and do is we'll go here to the MLS dashboard, and we're going to launch Prospector Plus and get into auto prospecting. So I'm going to click on this tile here. As you see, I circle that to the upper left, and here we go. So again, auto prospecting, what that is, and what we're going to do today is we're going to set up a client, add a search, and then anytime a listing comes onto the market that matches with that search criteria you set up, it will automatically email you and your client, saving you an immense amount of time. It's an awesome, awesome tool. So first, let's go ahead and go into contacts and prospects. So you'll see contacts is right between carts and links. So I'm going to click on that here. Now today we're going to go in here and we're going to create new contact, and I'll circle that here. You'll see that's in your upper left-hand corner. And this is where we're going to set up our contact. Now, my suggestion to you is, if you haven't done this before, maybe not in a long time, is set yourself up as a fictitious client. That way you can see the client side of things and the agent side of things. So I'm going to go ahead and create new contact. Now I have a contact I've been using for a long time. His name is Mr. Big Spender. We go way back. All right. So today, status active, type of buyer. Now this is set for you by default, manage as prospect. This opens up lots of prospecting tools at the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to show you those in just a moment. But what happens if I have this deselected? It takes away all those tools to continue on with auto prospecting, and this screen here would just become really a contact page. So just a little tip there. You could add your client's name to the reports if you'd like to. Completely optional. You're going to see company name. If your client works for a particular company and that's something you want to notate later on, or you can absolutely plug that in there. Their current street address you can plug in. Now this is the way their name will pull up later on in their contact manager, last name first, first name last. So you can go ahead and pick whichever way you would like them to display. So you have the option. Now groups, besides contact name, groups is the next required field. You have to think of groups as like a virtual file folder you're going to shuffle your client into. So they need to at least be in one group. You may be wondering, if you've done this before, well, how did she get this group to be in here by default? Well, I will show you in just a little bit. I'm going to show you how to make some additional groups, and they're really great for organizational purposes. So I'm going to click on the lookup icon here, and you're going to see I'm going to click on prospects. And we can have our client in more than one group if we'd like, but I'll just have it in prospects in this group called 2022. I'm going to click OK, and we'll move on. Now, the third required field on here is email. So this is where your client's email will go. For today, I'm going to go ahead and put my own email in here. Okay, and again, if this was my first time doing this, or if I was doing like a test run, of course I would want to go ahead and plug my own email in. But again, in the future, this is where you will absolutely plug your client's email into. CC, significant other, husband, wife, someone else that would like to receive the automated email. Alternate email, just a holding space for another email address. You could plug in your client's web page or your contact's web page. This is where you can enter in your client's cell phone number. It's really great for communication. You'll see when you message your client within the portal, or they message you, they will get your contact information and phone number. And if you plug in their cell phone number here, you will get that contact phone number back. And that way it just, again, helps with communication, makes it a little more effective. And I'll show you. So as I scroll down a little bit further, you're going to see the initial contact date. That's automatically populated. I have here birth date, closing date, You'll even see a section for notes. And these are just your, what your client likes, needs, children's names, pets' names. Now let's scroll down and go to the prospect options. So you're going to see that right here. I'll circle it, prospect options. And we have quite a few selections, so let's go ahead and go through it. So you're going to see here, I'm going to click on auto prospecting, and that is going to open up the auto prospecting scheduler. Now I can pick a start and an end date. It automatically goes a year out, but if I just want to do this, for 90 days, I absolutely could, and then pick that time frame. Or again, maybe I don't want this to go all the way to 2032. I could. You have absolute control and an option here. Now you have a few different ways to send listings out. You have what is considered ASAP, so as soon as possible, newly matched and updated listings are added to the prospect cart and sent out via email within minutes of the change being saved. You could either have them also sent them out daily, or another option is weekly, or even monthly, just depending upon your client and what types of properties they're searching for. Today, the market area we're searching in is moving pretty quickly, so we'll just choose ASAP. I'm going to go ahead and click save there, and we'll move on. Now I have to ask myself a question. Would I like to get the auto prospecting email myself personally? When would I leave that a no? Maybe you have a client that is really just wanting to look at properties. They're not wanting to write offers. They're just kind of wanting to watch the market. So you could leave that no, because at any time you could come into contacts and prospects, and you could absolutely go into their prospect cart, which I'll show you in a moment, and see everything new or what they've been receiving. So completely optional. Maybe you have what's considered to be a warm prospect, someone that's ramping up to purchase, and you decide to do a daily summary. So you'll get a daily email of anything new, or, well, anything that you leave checked here. So price changes, status changes, or information on rejected listings. Maybe you have a client that wanted to buy like yesterday, so you can use the prospect schedule. And so you will get them as soon as they get them. And remember, I have them set up as ASAP. So you're going to get them at the same exact time your client gets them. So if they call you and have any questions for you, you're going to have that email right when they do. All right. So the next one is send auto prospecting email to prospect. I can go ahead and click yes. Of course, I want my prospect to get this. You'll see yes for newly matched. And again, I can include the updates for price changes, status changes, and I'm going to see price and status changes for rejected listings if I'd like. So have an absolute option there. Now, I did not have a carbon copy, so I'm going to leave that a no. And something else you're going to see me move past today is we're not going to use this email report format. This is your standard email report format. We're going to use the client portal, and you can only really use one or the other. The difference is the client portal is interactive. It allows your clients to save and reject listings, write notes on listings, run their own searches. So a lot of you opt to use that these days. So I'm gonna be highlighting that functionality, and you're gonna notice when I click client portal, it disables the email report format. Now, I always suggest allowing your client to create searches in the client portal. I think that's a great option. Absolutely. So this just allows them to run any searches. Maybe they end up running a search for a family member, or they find another area that they really, really like without having to, email or call you. They can go in and run that search right away, which is awesome. All right, so send client portal activity alerts to agent. So this is an alert that allows you to know when your client accesses the portal for the first time, when they view a property. So even if they view a property 22 times, you're going to see that. So clearly, you'll know they're interested. When they save or reject a listing, when they save a new search, or add comments to one or more listings. So you can decide to get that hourly or once a day. So just to clarify, you won't get an hourly report unless they're in their hourly doing any of these functions. So just, again, a heads up on that. All right, so let's move on. Cart maintenance. So one thing I want to clarify here is that Well, I'm not running a search. What I'm telling the system is hey, these are the statuses I want my clients to see the listings fall to. So of course we want them to see active properties. Now for this scenario I have, maybe I have some clients that, are writing offers right at market value or below market value, and everything is selling above market value. So look, without having to say, hey, we need to write a stronger offer, I can set the expectation of the market. They will see when those properties jump from active to pending to close. They will see how quickly the market is moving. It's kind of some education for them, if you will. I think it's a great tool. A lot of your peers use it in that fashion. I find that we don't need to let them know when the properties go on hold or even contingent. I always tell agents, you don't need to let them see when they expire or cancel. If they do expire or get canceled, if they get relisted, they're going to come back on as active. So your client will see them once again. So anything that you have deselected, if the listings fall to that status, they will be removed from the portal. So just FYI, and your prospect card. So, all right. Today we're going to skip over auto prospecting, a whole nother tool. And if you want to watch a little video on that later on, sorry, a little bit of homework, you just go to contacts, reverse prospecting, and there's a video you can watch in the upper right-hand side of the screen. So again, for time purposes, we're going to skip past that. So now what I'm going to do is I've entered in all the required fields, right? I've set up all my prospecting functions, set up my cart maintenance, and now I'm going to go ahead and click save right here, upper left-hand side of the screen. All right, let's do it. Now I can add any search to this prospect. So I could do a quick or a standard, even a map search or an address search. Today, I'll just choose a standard search, and let's go ahead and search in Roseville, California. And let's say we're gonna look at how about 4-bedroom, 3-bath, let's say 2,000 plus square feet homes. Okay, now your client will see the search name. All right, so next thing I want to do, upper again, left-hand corner, I'm going to click submit, and we'll move right to the search. So here I have residential, so we'll do single family residence. Okay, I have my active set. And let's go ahead and search in Roseville. So I have areas and districts here. I'm going to click on the lookup icon right here. And I'll go to Placer County, and let's go ahead and scroll down, and we will locate those areas of Roseville. So we have East, we have Central, and we have West. Okay, I didn't put a price point in. I just did, okay, 4 bedrooms on up. We have total bathrooms 3 on up, and that could be full or half. And I put a square footage right in the description of the search. So living area, so we did 2,000 square feet on up, and if I do a preview count right here, I have 51 properties. So, we'll be able to see, and of course I know we'll have a price point. We might have more criteria that we plug in for this search, but for today, I just kind of want to see what's going on in Roseville within those parameters. We'll see what prices those properties are at. All right, the reason I do preview count, you guys, is because, well, 51 could turn into 251 really quickly, just as a result of maybe leaving out some search criteria. So I find that's really helpful for, kind of narrowing down the search for your clients initially. Also, maximum number of results you can pull up at one time is 500. That's a lot. So again, love doing a preview count here. So I can do one of two things. I can view results, or I could click search. It's just going to take us to the next step. Same thing either way. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'll click view results here. So this is the workflow that you'll go through next. This is really awesome because before we send out the invitation, we get to go through these properties, and we'll either get to recommend, we'll save, reject, or we can leave everything in newly matched. Right here, this column to the left, you can view these properties in a couple of different ways. So I can switch to a thumbnail view, okay, or a condensed view. It's up to you either way. Now, as I scroll down this list and I click on a property, you will notice the display along the right changes to that listing. Another way to jump from property to property is to click this arrow right here. And so I could go to this listing. And again, you'll see that appears on the screen here. And I could go to this one here. And again, it jumps to that one. So let me show you how to recommend, save, and reject properties. So you're going to see here, I can come through here and I'm going to go back to the top and let's go ahead and say, oh, I really know they're going to like this one. I'm going to go ahead and click on the thumb and this one is going to be recommended. And I can also see right here it reflects on this upper toolbar. Now, as I scroll down to this property, maybe I want to go ahead and save this one. And again, it is going to show here along the right and the corresponding tab is selected as I can see here. Maybe this third one I decide to reject. So you can see you can come in here and you're managing the listings. Now, a question I get frequently, are they going to see what I reject? No, they are not going to see the properties you reject. You know, why would you reject listings? Well, one thing you'll notice is there's no such thing as a perfect search. So there could be some things in here that are a little outside of their parameters. So it's a great option to have now. Let's say we leave the rest set to newly matched. So you'll notice here, I can set the rest, I could set all to newly matched. So if I go ahead and I set the rest to newly matched, it's thinking and it will absolutely set the rest of those to that newly matched tab. So let's send out the invitation and see what that looks like in the prospect cart. Now, I can update to move to the prospect cart. One little sidebar and tip. If at this point you get in here and there's, again, maybe not 51, maybe there's 151 or 351, this point right here, you can always go back and revise criteria and then again, come back here and go through your new set of search results. So again, just a little sidebar, a little side tip. So I'm going to click update and you'll see I'm going to come right to my prospect cart. Okay. And here you're going to see I can send out the invitation. So I can send later or I can send now. And I'm going to go ahead and maybe I go, oops, and I hit send later. You know, I just got asked this the other day. So if I do hit send later, maybe I was in a hurry, how do I resend that? So you go right here to your client portal and look at, it's this orange button. You can send invitation. So I'm going to go ahead and click send invitation and I'm going to click send now. All right, so I did move all of those properties to newly matched. Remember, it said set all to newly matched. So even though I saved and rejected and recommended a few initially, it did move them back here. So just in case you're wondering. Now, when you're in here, guess what? Even though you already sent the invitation, you can also move properties around. So let me show you. So if I deselect all of these and I select this one and this one, you have a move button right here. So I can move that to recommended, saved, or rejected. Now it is going to go to agent rejected. And again, they will not see those listings. So I'm going to click here on rejected. You know, maybe I have one that I want to recommend and I want to write a note on it. This display format's called the one-line grid. And within the one-line grid, you're going to see there is a little mailbox right here. I can view or add comments. And let's go ahead and click on that and we'll add a comment to this one and maybe we'll put, you know, check out the kitchen. Because maybe there's some really great qualities or amenities that they're wanting. So I'm going to go ahead and post that. Now, when your client, aka I'm the agent and the client today, when they access the portal, you're going to see that note. And guess what? I could also recommend this one if I wanted to. So now a lot of you love to let your clients save and reject them so they feel like they're part of the process. I'm going to go ahead and show you what the client portal side of things looks like, what your client side of the world looks like. So let's go ahead and take a peek at that. To do that, I'm going to log into my own email. So give me just a second here. Okay, so you're going to see here, I'm going to click on the invitation, and this is what we're going to view. Okay, so you're going to see here, property information prepared exclusively for Big Spender. Listings that match your criteria are now available for you to view. They can unsubscribe. If they do that, you will get an email right away letting you know that they unsubscribed. So I'm going to go ahead and click View Listings. So look at that. Check out the kitchen. And you know, your client can write back to you. Maybe they write, when can we see this? Okay. And they can post the comment. In just a moment, I'm going to show you in the email. It comes right back to you within an email report format. It's awesome. By the way, the portal is mobile responsive and looks really nice on, you know, an Android or an iPhone, any smartphone device, including tablets. So here they can go into My Listings. So this is their side of the world. So again, they can go in and they can do a couple of things. So let's kind of take a tour here. These are the newly matched. That's the one that you recommended earlier. This is any that you or they saved, any that you or actually this will only be any properties that they rejected. Now, if they add a search here, you will see that, and I'll show you in just a moment. But right now, you're only seeing the search you set up for them. Now, maybe they're out of town for a week, they're on vacation or whatnot. They can actually just put in the date range of maybe the properties they missed while they were out of town. So that's really convenient. Something else that they can do, they can even see or organize these by the date they were updated within the portal, ascending or descending. They can also organize these by price, ascending or descending. Okay. So here under actions, anything that is selected. So when we go in and select, they can print those. Okay. I can select all, save one, or reject the one I currently have selected. So you have an option there. So let's go ahead and take a peek at these listings. So you're going to notice a really nice compartmentalized listing display here. It really breaks out all the important information about the property. You see beds, baths, square footage, so on and so forth. We can see the public remarks right here. We can even see where the property resides on a map. So if I pull that up, you're going to see it will open up in Google Maps. And give it just a second here. Okay, so there we go. You can see the balloon right there. I'm going to close out of that. They can post a comment to you. So if they post a comment, they can click post and let's say again, you know, let's say they say love the yard. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and post. Now, something else they can do. They can save or reject right from here. They can also click on and view the property photos right from here as well, just like so. So if they go, oh, you know what, I absolutely love this one, they can click save. And you'll see it'll go into the corresponding save tab. Maybe they don't like this one, they click reject. Maybe this one here, they want to go in and look at the details a little further. So let's say they look through the photos. There's 36 photos you're going to see, but they want to look at the details. And this is just like when you click on the listing number in the MLS, minus the confidential information. Now, again, you'll see you can save and reject. That's what your client has the option to do. Post comments, a map, print, or close. And here's the listing summary, the remarks. They can thumb through all the photos here of the listing. Okay, you're going to see here, there's a little carousel. You're going to see some information. I will tell you, confidential and showing remarks never show here. You'll see the directions, the general information on the property. And, maybe they were coming in here to look for association information, which you can see right here. Here's the property information. You can see here rooms, listing information, and even a little mortgage calculator. So if they scroll back to the top, they can go, okay, yeah, this is one I absolutely love. They can click save. Okay. And then this arrow here will allow them to go from property to property and view more listing detail. Now to get back to the listings, they just click My Listings and it takes them back to that initial screen with the summary of all the properties. Now here, again, they can select all from actions, or they can come here and select these here individually. Oh, you'll notice here this one even has an open house. So I selected this one, and this one. And again, I could save those 3 selected. So now I have 5. Oops, excuse me. Let me go back to the top. I apologize for the quick scrolling here. So again, 5 in saved, 1 recommended, and 28 newly matched. Now let me click on this one, Dorchester Drive. I'm going to click on details, and I'm going to come in and out of this one a couple of times. I want to show you when we get back to the agent side of things that it logs exactly what your client was doing. So every time they click on this and come into it, it's logging it, which is really, really cool. Okay. Now they can even run their very own new search if they chose to. So let's go ahead and click on that. They can click residential. Let's say they do single family residence. And, oftentimes they're not going to know MLS areas, but they will know cities or zip codes. And so let's say today they're going to search in the city of, Rockland. Next door neighbor to Roseville. So we'll go ahead and click search here and we'll select Rockland. And so let's go ahead and we'll do the same search. 4 bedrooms, okay, total baths, full or half, remember, 3 on up. And let's do from 2,000 square feet on up. Now what your client would have to do, if you're assisting them, just tell them to scroll to the top and they can click search, and it's going to ask them to name that search. It will give them a default search name called My Search, or they can just erase that and maybe they call it Rockland. Okay, so we'll click OK here, and then it's going to run that search. And then again, they have all the functionality that they had with the previous search. They can, recommend, they can save, reject, view the details. They can look at all the listing detail, the public remarks, post comments, so on and so forth. Now, if they wanted to toggle back to that search that you created for them, they can click here and they can go back to that Roseville search. You'll notice they can edit and delete what they've created. They cannot edit or delete what you've created for them. They can also see everything in one big bucket by clicking all searches right here. And you'll see it puts them all in one search. So maybe they have a question for you and they need to get a hold of you. They've gone through, they've saved, rejected, wrote notes, seen what you've recommended for them, and now they need to get a hold of you. So here I am, lovely Miss Audrey Hepburn. She is my agent photo, as you can see here. But this is how you would contact, or this is how they would contact you as the agent. So phone number, maybe email address, or whatnot. There's also, lastly, a little help tool here. It's lovely. There's some video tutorials, what is a client portal, and some visuals to assist them while navigating this amazing tool. Okay, I love the portal. It's fantastic. So let's go ahead and go back to the email and let's check out what that comment was from my client on the listing. So look at my client wrote, and imagine this coming to your cell phone. Okay, love the yard, right? Tells me date and time here. And look, if I did pull this up on my smartphone, I could text or call them right from here because remember, I plugged their phone number in earlier. I love it. Such a neat tool. All right, so I'm going to close out of my email We're going to exit the portal, exit my email, and you can see here I'm right back to the prospect cart. So let's go back to contacts and prospects. So, let's say we close out and we want to locate Big Spender later on. So you're going to see here, he is right here. So this is, you're going to see his contact information, his name. This is a little informational eye, and you're going to see when I click on it, it's going to tell me over here to the right, his name, what groups I have him in, phone number, maybe I need to get an email address or review some notes. I can see that. Something else here, this little paper with a plus, if I want to set up a completely another search for them, I absolutely can do so by clicking on this icon. This right here, these next numbers, this is a miniaturized version of the prospect cart. So you can see here, I have 69 newly matched properties, 1 agent recommended, I have 5 saved, 1 rejected, 2 agent rejected, okay? That's what this last one is. And again, it's going to give you that information right here. Now, something else, this will also tell you when the last time your client was active in the portal. And you can see green is 0 to 6 days, yellow is 7 to 30, and red is 31 plus. Now, I want to show you something else. There's this little tiny plus next to your client's name. And I'm going to click on that here. I just wanted to highlight it so I could show you. And so let me go ahead and click on the plus here. And now look, I can see the search that I set up for my client and the search that they set up for themselves. And hey, you know what? At any time, I can always come in and revise criteria for their search or for the search I created, which is lovely. Now, because I did add the client portal, this is a part of this particular tool. This is activity. It's not only the last date and time they came in to look at the portal, I also want to show you it will display the activity your client has taken within the portal. So let's go ahead and click on that. So look, they created a new search. They viewed this listing 3 times, that one on Dorchester. Remember, I kept going in and out. Here is 3 different properties that they liked, they saved. I can see they viewed this one on Marie Court, Alder Point. Really cool, right? It gives you the synopsis and activity of everything they were doing. And of course, I could just look at listing views or new comments, deleted. You have a list of things that you can focus on. If I want to look at listings here, this is going to break out the views for each of those listings. So I can see, hey, they looked at this one 3 times. They might really like this one. I can see they looked at this one on Alder Point 2 times and this one once. And again, it's giving me the counts for each of those tabs. A couple other things you're going to see here, the searches. So it's kind of redundant. I could have done this on the other screen as well. Again, look, I can run, revise, view the criteria here, you guys, or delete the search. And you can even turn these on or off. Under comments, this is just the running thread of comments. So if maybe they made comments on 10 or 15 properties and you wanted to address those all at once, this is a really easy way to come in and write back to them and have that conversation. If this is something that you want to write on the property that, well, is for your eyes only, just click agent only comment and then they won't see what you type in here. Maybe you just needed to notate something about a fence or, some other, part of the property. You can absolutely do that. Maybe they write an offer on a property, you want to turn the portal off. This is one way to do that. Okay, so you can turn off the portal. And also you can turn off the email activity that goes to yourself. So the email activity that updates you when they access the portal, when they move properties around, write notes, view properties. All right, so I'm going to close out of the client portal activity. So that was right here in the bar. And again, you'll see as I click on or go into any one of these, I can absolutely view that information. Now, something else I want to share with you. Let's go into this fictitious character right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. And the great thing is, remember, we set up the cart maintenance. Anytime there's a property in here that falls outside your client's criteria that I had deselected, remember, it's supposed to remove. But this is a new tool they added probably about a year ago or so, is where I can view those properties that were removed from the prospect cart and the portal. So these listings were hidden automatically by cart maintenance. So, maybe they ask me about this one on Dogwood Way. Okay. And hey, you know what? They go, hey, I saw that one on Dogwood Way that it disappeared. And I can go, oh, you know what? It is temporarily off the market. I can see if I can reach out to the agent and see what's going on with it, but not quite sure. So this will allow you to view those listings that fell outside of those your cart maintenance parameters. So just FYI, I love that little tool there. I click on it again, it's going to hide those just to keep it clean. Now this little circle with the eye, this is additional information. If I click on that here, you're going to again see the client's information, email, so on and so forth. I can go ahead and send my client an email. This will hook up to your default email service. Mine just happens to be Outlook. And the magnifying glass will allow me to view or revise this search, or I can go ahead and add another search if I'd like to. All right, so let's come back into contacts and prospects. And I did show you one way to disable the search if your client wrote an offer and you want to turn that off. Another way to do so is by clicking on your client's name. So we're going to kind of come full circle here, and you're going to see, well, I could inactivate this client. It's going to shut everything off. That's a quick way to do it. I could also come down here to the very, very bottom. You're going to see, and I could turn off auto prospecting. I could turn off the search, turn off the client portal. I think inactivating it, it's a little bit faster. If this is someone you're not working with any longer, you can always delete them. Just make sure that if you delete them, I want you to know you cannot retrieve them back. So make sure that's something you want to do. I can click save, and anything I had added here would apply to the system and to that contact. So some other things you can do within the contact manager, if you ever want to reactivate an inactive client, you're going to see that's right here. I can always go into one of these 54 inactive and I can reactivate them. Another function of this page as far as managing clients, I can select a few here. So if I select Natalie here and let's say Mo Money, I can go to options and look, I can do a couple of things. I can sort them by their name or a code I gave them, and that has to do with that reverse prospecting tool I told you about earlier. Initial contact date, so an option. The two that I have selected, I could add them to a group, move them to a group, so that's moving them from a group to another particular group, remove them from a group, or delete them altogether. So you could do, if you want to delete 4 or 5, you could absolutely do that. I could also do a little contact report. If I want a synopsis of each of these clients, or I want to do address labels for a whole group of them, I could do that as well. So this is just a way to organize your clients. And again, here's your little search. You can search by name, code, or email here if you'd like. So let's talk about groups. So how do we create another group? You might have noticed I have a lot of groups. And maybe we want to make a few more groups for organizational purposes so we can move them around. So here, if I go to contacts and I go to manage groups, I can add as many groups as I'd like. So if I want to go here to create new group, I can give a group name, and maybe I put Roseville, because I have a large group of buyers that are looking for properties in Roseville and I want to keep them all in one group. I could do that. Now, the only time I'm going to click assign by default if it's a universal group. You know, maybe you make a universal group called holiday cards and you know everybody gets thrown into that group. Or, you know, like I made the universal group for the year I'm in, 2022. Everybody gets thrown into that group. But obviously not everybody is doing a search in Roseville. So I won't select that there. Once I click save, I would then have that group as an option. You're going to see it right here. So when I come back into contacts and prospects, you'll see here are all my groups, okay? And I have that group Roseville, and again, I could add or move clients to that particular group. All right, last couple of things. As you continue with auto prospecting, there are some modules on your homepage that can assist you. So as I scroll down, you're going to see here, and let me scooch this one here. So you'll see prospect management. If your auto prospect has 7 days left in auto prospecting, remember, mine's set for a year. So 7 days before it expires, it's going to pop up and say, hey, do you want to extend the expiration date? Do you want to turn them off? Do you want to delete them? And you're going to go ahead and right here, it will also notate if, well, they're ending soon and how many days left they have. So maybe before you get that message, you can check in with your client. This is going to show you any message you get from the portal. So you can see this is a message from Big Spender. You also saw that I got that via email. And I can click on this comment and love the yard. I could respond back right here if I'd like to. So this will be all that client portal messaging. This is also right here. These three have to do with auto prospecting. You're going to see newly matched listings. So I can see that for all my clients here. I can see that in a chart or a list view. And I can even go here to manage. And again, I can click on these and I can save all, reject all right here. Or again, I could save and reject individually. Completely up to you. Once you do, you would just move listings. Now, you can view these right here by clicking on the listing numbers. And here under options, again, I can sort these right here by status, area, price, or whatever functionality or whatever sort of options I'd like to put them in. I can also remove any properties that were unchecked. So unchecked properties, when you come in here to manage newly matched listings, are just properties that were in here previously. So that's another way you can manage these listings. All right, I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm going to click on the home key. Now, if you don't see those modules on your home page, let me make a suggestion. Go up here, this little cog right here. This is your dashboard settings. And so if you do want to come in here and you want to turn those on, maybe they're off for some reason, you can always come in and go, okay, I want to make sure, you know, prospect management's on, newly matched listings are on, okay, client portal activity is on, and I can click save, and it would apply to my system. Now, to fully set yourself up for success, I suggest going into admin and your preferences and setting up your auto prospecting preferences. So let me quickly show you. So I'm going to go to admin and your preferences. So you're going to see here right under prospecting. So remember, your preferences are your system defaults, how you tell your system you would like it to work with you. So I'm going to click on prospecting here. And universally, you'll leave on auto prospecting email. If I uncheck this, this would turn everyone off on auto prospecting. And I don't suggest doing that. A lot of these have click help, so if you need any assistance, you can always click that there, and it's going to give you a little bit of information. Okay. So why my auto prospecting popped up as, well, the schedule, the frequency is ASAP is because, well, I have that set as a preference here. Also, you'll see I set up my preferences for when I send myself an email as an agent and also for when I send an email to my prospects. So these are, again, the defaults for both of those sections. As I scroll down a bit further, you're going to see here, I can sort my clients by their name, code, or the initial contact date, and I really do like the date. When we set up our contacts in there, default new contacts as prospects, that was automatically selected, and that's because it's checked here within your preferences. A lot of agents ask me, can I customize the verbiage on the portal? Well, absolutely. Here's your client portal invitation text right here. And even the update text, so when they get any new or changed listings, you can make this your own, hands down. Now, if you're wondering why my cart maintenance was set up in the fashion that it was set up, it's because, well, you're going to see what I had set as my preferences right here: active, pending, and closed. So when I get done setting all my preferences, I set this up, it's optimized, I can go ahead and click save, and it applies that to the system. All right, you guys. So here's what we went over today. We went over creating a contact. We added all their information. Remember, the contact name, groups, and email, all required fields. We set up the client portal. I showed you the interaction within that. It's a really great tool. I showed you your side of it, which is the prospect cart. Showed you how to move listings, save, reject, recommend, write notes on the individual listings. Showed you how to send the invitation. I showed you how to manage groups. Remember, you can move your clients around within the contact manager. Okay, so that was your manage contacts, and then we went in even to manage groups, and I showed you how to create additional groups. As a few bonuses, I showed you those modules that had to do with auto prospecting on your homepage. Make sure those are turned on. And then even your preferences for auto prospecting, I think those come in very handy, and again, can really help you streamline your process. All right, so I'm going to stick around for a minute. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, here is the Metrolist Education Department phone number and our email. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. You will get the recording of this exact webinar about an hour after it concludes. If you happen not to get it, again, please reach out. Again, hey, thank you so much, you guys, and have a wonderful day. Bye now.